Good morning, Bu Ida.
Good morning, Mas Adit.
Okay, let's start now.
It's still 16%, maybe. How about waiting for like 5 minutes?
Okay,
Usually we have around 40 audiences. So yeah, let's wait for 5 minutes.
okay.
Is that okay, Bu Iis and Wong Sang?
Oh,
Yeah, okay. No problem.
Yep, yep. Thank you very much.
Udah.
Okay, let's go. We start on this meeting. For the first, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Adit. I'm a moderator for this event. We delight to welcome you to the webinar series from Indonesian Marine Biochemistry Forum, IMBF, mainstreaming the marine biochemistry research in Indonesia. We hope this exciting event that we have here will be fruitful and engaging. It's an honor for me to introduce our guest and speaker. The first is the Vice Chair of IMBF, Dr. Ida Juliaksani. Good morning, Dr. Ida. Also, we have a speaker. The first is Dr. Iis Triyulianti from BRIN. Good morning, Dr. Iis.
Morning.
The next is Dr. Wong Wohong from Kanazawa University. Good morning, Dr. Wong.
Morning.
Nice to meet
Hello.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, and also the participant in this event. Okay, we are now going to listen the opening remarks that will be delivered from IMBF Vice Chair, Dr. Ida Yulia Iksani. Dr. Ida, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mas Adit. Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is great pleasure to have all of you here gather with us in our webinar. And again, great thank you for the speakers, Bu Iis, Dr. Iis, and Dr. Ko Hong Wong, my senpai during my PhD journey. Thank you for your willingness to share with us in this event. And I hope both of you can enjoy this event. So I'm here on behalf of our chairman, Prof. Aan, because he is having another schedule in Shanghai related to IMBER. So our the bigger the international kind of international IMBF, something like that. So before I start, let me before we start this webinar, let me deliver you some updates related to our organization. So I would like to use this opportunity to introduce our working group at the PICs. So let me share my screen, everybody. So, okay. So as we know that we have, okay, can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. Yep. So as we know that we have 4 working groups, blue carbon. Okay, I'm not really familiar. I'm not really remember the name in English, but we have 4 working groups as listed here. And this, I would like to introduce all the PICs. So we have Bu Ana, Bu Yusmiana Rahayu for the PIC for blue carbon working group. Bu Tia Nuraya for the working group pencemaran laut and biogeochemistry. Kemudian Pak Agung for the ocean acidification and deoxygenation, and Bu Iis, yeah, she is here with us for the PICs for the working group nutrient and eutrophication. So for everyone who not decide to join which working group, because yeah, some member told me that, oh, I cannot decide now and something like that. So yeah, please feel free to contact the PICs, or you can also contact me, and yeah, definitely we can do something about it. Okay, so this all for the and I think without further ado, let's start this webinar. I sincerely hope that we can enjoy and this will be fruitful. Again, thank you very much, Bu Is and Wong Sang. So please, time is yours. Saya kembalikan ke Mas Adit. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ida, for the remarks. And then before we begin, allow me to inform several rules for today's webinar. Each presenter will have a maximum of 20 minutes to deliver their presentation. We kindly ask everyone to stay muted during the presentation section to minimize distraction. And then for a Q&A section will be held at the end of all the presentation. So please save your question until then. You might type your question in the chat box anytime, and we will address your question during the Q&A section. Okay, for the first opportunity, we will invite Dr. Iis. Before the presentation start, I will introduce you the a profile of the first speaker. The first speaker is Dr. Iis Triyulianti, MSI. The affiliation is National Research and Innovation Agency, especially for Deep Sea Research Center. And the research interest is applied oceanography and education, a Bachelor of Water Resource Management from IDB University, and then a Master of Science in Marine Science, also from IDB University, and then a PhD in Coastal Resource Management from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia, and her position now as a researcher in BRIN. Okay, without any further, please welcome Dr. Iis Triyulianti. The time is yours.
Thank you, Bapak Aditya. Is it my voice clear?
Very clear.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. As Bapak Adi said, he has introduced me, so I will introduce again. And thank you for all committee in IMBF that give me a chance to give a talk about the ocean rule in the global water cycle. Let me share the PPT. Okay. Okay. Is it okay, my PPT on the screen?
Okay.
Okay. The title that I will give you for the audience is about the ocean role in the global water cycle. And this is the contents for today. I will start with the question. Why is it important to understand the ocean role in the water cycle? Or why the committee interested with this topic? And the second, I will give you the insight about the Earth system for the first, and then we will talk about the global water cycle. And the main topic is the ocean role, how about the ocean make a significant role in the water cycle. And we will talk about again about impact on climate and weather. And I will finish with the question, how can we improve our understanding about the ocean role in the water cycle? Why we have to understand about the ocean role in the water cycle? The understanding about of the ocean role in the water cycle is important because maybe I can make relate a reason, like we need the information or the knowledge about the ocean role in the water cycle for predicting climate patterns and the future climate changes. And then it's important for managing water resources. We have to know what the impacts, what the influence on the precipitation and evaporation. And this information or this knowledge is important for mitigating extreme events and for supporting ecosystem. We have to know how to maintain the healthy marine ecosystem that's related to, and the understanding of the ocean role in the water cycle is important for improving weather forecasting and also for sustaining food security. Okay, that's maybe the basic justification why we talk about the ocean role in the water cycle today. Okay, first I will give you the insight about the Earth system. As we know that the global water cycle and the ocean, they are consist as a Earth system. And the composition of natural environment in the Earth system are the biosphere, atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and the surface of the lithosphere. All subsystems in the Earth system have the interaction between the others, like between ocean, atmosphere, living things, geologic processes, land surface dynamics, and human system. And in the Earth system, there are processes that connect the biological, physical, and human system that operating near the Earth surface. And also in the Earth system, the all subsystem like atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere connect with the interrelationship between physical, biological system impact each other and lead to the changes. To describe you how the Earth system works, I give you the diagram, the Bretterton diagram. You can see on my slide. The Bretterton diagram is the diagram that useful for understanding the complex interaction within the Earth's climate system, which is this diagram useful for identifying the key processes and the feedback that influence our climate variability and the changes. In this diagram, we can see there are two components, main components, the physical climate system and the biogeochemical cycles. The biogeochemical cycles have a big part because the biochemical cycles consist of the atmospheric, tropospheric, stratospheric, and human activities. That's why the biochemical cycles is very, very complicated, but it's interesting. You can see. And now, in the Earth system, there is global water cycle. The global water cycle is the circulation of the water that constant connect between the atmosphere, land, and ocean. And this cycle shaping our planet's climate and ecosystem. That's why I'll give you the diagram of the Bretterton. In this global water cycle, there are processes like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and infiltration. These processes to connect the waters in the earth. Where is the waters in the earth? As we know, the ocean have a big part of from the total global water. The water from the ocean consists of 96.5% than all water in the earth. And for the fresh water, just 2.5%. From the 2.5% of fresh water, divide into the glacier and ice caps, and also groundwater and surface freshwater. From the surface freshwater, we can find into the lakes, swamps, rivers, living things, and in the atmosphere. We can say that the ocean has become a big reservoir of the water. From the ocean, from the ocean water cycle, in the picture that I said previous, the main processes is are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and infiltration. How about these processes? These For the evaporation and precipitation, this is the main key in the ocean water cycle. Why? As I said before, that the ocean has a big part from the waters in the earth. The evaporation can transfer heat from the surface of the land and in the ocean into the atmosphere, which is in the liquid, in the vapor, sorry. As water vapor rises and cools in the atmosphere, it condenses into the form to form clouds. And when there is a wind and the temperature cooler than cooler, so the clouds will be changed into the precipitate, or we call precipitation, which this process can return the waters from the atmosphere into the ocean and land. When the precipitation falls on land, the water will flow to the rivers and streams and eventually making its way back to the ocean. And some water on the land will infiltrate into the ground that we call groundwater supplies, which can later discharge into rivers and eventually into the ocean. That's why the ocean once again become a big reservoir of water. From the Baumgartner and Regal in 1975, they had collect the estimate of evaporation, precipitation, and river flow. From their research result, they show the maps covering the years 2005 until 2008 from the estimation of evaporation, precipitation, and river flow. They found that in the intertropical convergence zones and the Indonesian truffle has the majority of the temperate and subpolar latitudes has the characterized by the excess of precipitation, or the simple we can say the precipitation higher than evaporation. That's different with the subtropical ocean gyres. You can see from the maps or from the picture on my slide, Indonesia has a tropical climate. So we can say the precipitation value has higher than the evaporation. We can find this the result about the rainfall or about the precipitation in Indonesian area from the publication of Bapak Edwin Aldrin and Dwi Susanto. They have identified, divide the Indonesian area become three regions of the rainfall. In the end of my slide, I can show you the paper of the Bapak Edwin Aldrin and Pak Dwi Susanto about the region of rainfall in Indonesian area. Okay. And now about, we will talk about the main topic in this morning, the ocean role of the water cycle, or in the water cycle. What is the role of the ocean in the global water cycle? From the previous slide, we can see that the ocean has a big part in our reservoir of water in the earth. So we can say that the ocean plays a crucial role in the global water cycle, which is the continuous movement of water within the earth and atmosphere. We can see from the picture in my slide from Smith 2010, he has made a make a research about the evaporation and precipitation from the satellite and from the modeling, and they can show us about how the ocean make a big part of the reservoir, and the flux from the flux water from the precipitation and evaporation from the ocean has higher than from the land. So we can say over 75% of the global water cycle comprises the yearly flow of freshwater through rainfall and evaporation between the ocean and the atmosphere. And the ocean drive global system, regulating weather and climate, and providing essential resources, including drinking water and the very air we breathe. That's from Pilho and Gupta. And from the Smith and Milley, we can find that the water cycle is expected to be highly responsive to changes in average atmospheric temperatures, with even little warming, has drought and floods. And from their research, we can make a summarize that ocean contribute significantly to the global water cycle, which is about 80% of global evaporation from the ocean. And why? Because, as we can say again, that the ocean has become a large surface area, and the ocean could holds approximately 96.5% of the earth water. The ocean, the surface water, can absorb and store solar energy more higher than land, and for surface temperature generally warm, and this could be regulate for atmospheric circulation. That's why the role of the ocean for the climate is very important. According to the important role of the ocean in the global water cycle, it's interesting to talk about the circulation, ocean circulation. As oceanographer, I think all the audience have known about the thermohaline circulation, or we can say the green belt conveyor belt. Thermohaline circulation has known to be the deep water flow in the ocean, where water originates at the surface in the North Atlantic. Deep water flows through the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Ocean before it returns on an upwell and come back to the first position. That's the water mass circulation. And why it could be like this, or why the water mass can circulate into the earth. It's driven by, for the deep water, it drives by the global density gradient. And for the surface water, it drives by the winds. In the deep water, created by surface heat and freshwater fluxes. And this circulation triggered by formation of deep water masses. These masses, or this water mass, can transport particulate and dissolve matter, and also the gaseous matter. And this circulation, why I deliver this topic, or this about the Haldane circulation because it has give the large impact on the distribution of biogeochemical elements. Maybe the latter speaker, Mr. Wong, could give us more about the organic material, I think. Sorry if I false. That's important too. Then I think it could be interesting to know about the topic with Mr. Wong. Okay, now what is the impact on climate and weather? From the circulation, ocean circulation, we can find or we can know about the changes on the temperature and on the circulation. The changes in the ocean temperature and circulation can significantly impact the regional climates in several ways. First, for temperature regulation, the changes of the temperature and the circulation can lead the global warming, and or the cooling in the nearby land masses. And also the changes in the ocean temperature and circulation can make the precipitation patterns. Ocean temperature and circulation pattern, such as ENSO, El Nino, and La Nina, can alter precipitation pattern leading to drought or floods. And the third, the changes in the ocean temperature and circulation can impact to the weather extreme, like typhoon, hurricane, etc. And the other, we can talk about regional climate shift. The shift of the ocean circulation can promote the changes of the regional climate. Like in Indonesia, we know about how the impacts of El Nino and La Nina into the climate system in Indonesian area. And also the climate changes due to the changes of the ocean temperature and circulation can impact on agriculture and ecosystem. As we know, it's hard for marine ecosystem, marine fisheries, and also for the livelihood in the marine ecosystem. If there are climate changes that impact to the biota. And for the final, as I said before, for the final topics that I should give today, I will end with the question: how can we improve understanding about the ocean role in the global water cycle? First, we can improve our knowledge, our understanding through enhanced observation. It could be we have to conduct our research. We have to deploy more buoy example, and we have to collect many data from the ocean, like the temperature, salinity, current, and others. And also for improving our understanding, we can make enhancement from modeling and simulation due to the observation. We have to have much money. So for the for the limiting budget, we can conduct the research from modeling and simulation. And of course, we have to make collaboration, national or international collaboration, like IMBF. IMBF, we collect we collect scientists from other institution, not just from BRIN, but also from the university, internal or external. We can act just one man show. We have to make a collaboration. Because in the research, of course, we need a funding. That's more important. So we can enhance the observation, we can enhance the modeling and simulation. That's the most important, the funding. And for improving our understanding, our knowledge, also we have to make a public awareness and education. We have to promote through the educational programs, workshop like today, and outreach activities. And the most important, to give or to make a better understanding about the ocean role in the global water cycle, we can make an integration or data integration and analysis. We have to integrate data from various sources for sustainability and conservation effort also. Okay, maybe that's all for my topic or my presentation. Thank you very much. And as I said before, I will show you the paper, one paper about the is it true that the Indonesia area the precipitation higher than evaporation? So it's interesting to read this paper from Edwin Aldrin and Bapak Dwi Susanto that makes identification of 3 dominant rainfall region within Indonesia and the relationship to the sea surface temperature. This result suggests the 3 climatic regions in Indonesia with their distinct characteristics. Okay, thank you. I will back to the moderator. I will stop.
Thank you very much, Dr. Iis, for the nice presentation. And dear participant, please hold your question because we still have a next speaker. For the next, we will invite Dr. Wong. Hello, Dr. Wong. Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Okay, before that, I will introduce the short information of the Dr. Wong. Okay, the name is Wong Kuo Hong, PhD, and the affiliation is from Kanazawa University, Japan. And the research interest is in marine chemistry. He got a bachelor degree in natural science from Cambridge University. Also got a Master of Science and PhD in environmental studies from the University of Tokyo, Japan. Now his position is assistant professor. Okay, without any further, the time is yours.
Right. Thank you very much. Let me share my presentation. All right. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Adit-san, for your introduction. And yeah, so I'm also very honored to be invited as a speaker for this for the IMBF seminar. And hopefully what I lecture today will be useful for everyone who is attending this talk. Actually, me and Ida-san, we have been collaborating for a very long time since our time in Japan, and I'm very happy that we are still collaborating today, even after she has gone back to Indonesia. And for information, Adit-san is coming to our lab here to do his PhD very soon. So hopefully, I'll see you in Japan soon. Yes. So, first of all, I mean, Adit-san has introduced myself to all of you. So this is just a recap of everything he has said. And basically, I'm born in Brunei. So as you know, probably I can speak Bahasa. I can understand Bahasa, but I don't speak a lot of Bahasa. So if you want to ask me questions later, you can ask me in Bahasa. But I'll probably answer you in English. That's it. So, first of all, my talk today is regarding organic matter in seawater and how it can be used or applied in the field of marine chemistry. So, in organic matter, there's just a lot of them. So far, we just don't know what kind of organic matter they are in seawater. So, if you can try to measure what kind of organic matter they are, there will be a lot. But in different fields, there are different applications for organic matter. So you can define organic matter in many different ways. In our field, in marine chemistry, what the property of organic matter that I'm most interested in is the size. Okay? Because the size of organic matter in the environment, especially in the field of marine chemistry, is very important for many reasons, which I will introduce later. So how can we define the size of organic matter in the environment? So here I've listed a very simple definition. So we have those very small that we can assume to be completely dissolved in water. And this organic matter is called truly soluble. So we can define the size as less than 10 kilodalton, or if you want to be easier to a better perspective, is less than 10 nanometers. So it's just very, very small organic matter. So here you have things like amino acid and very small protein and siderophore, which is metal binding organic matter. And if they become bigger, the organic matter tends to aggregate. Aggregate means they will combine to form bigger organic matter, and then they'll become colloidal. So colloidal is kind of not dissolved, but by definition, they are dissolved. So this is a bit difficult because for oceanography, our definition is that anything with a smaller diameter than 0.2 micrometer, which is 200 nanometer, we can say they are dissolved. Whereas for limnology, which is the field of the study of freshwater, such as river and lakes, in that field, we define dissolve as less than 0.45 micrometer. If you ask me why it's different, I don't know. It has been there for many, many years and people just use it. And the main reason is that the filter paper that we use to filter our sample before we do the analysis is, for oceanography, it has been 0.2 micrometer. And for limnology, it's more than, it always has been 0.45 micrometer. So this definition means that even though colloidal is not really dissolved in seawater, we still consider them as dissolved by definition. So this is a bit difficult to understand, but I mean, if you deal with a lot of organic matter, it's quite important to know distinction, because truly soluble organic matter does not sink. It just follows the water. Wherever it goes, it follows the water. Whereas colloidal matter, because they are not really dissolved in the water, so they will sink to the bottom of the ocean, which I will explain a bit more about later. And anything bigger than 0.2 or 0.45 micrometer, we just call it particulate. So this can be something like phytoplankton cells, sediment, marine snow, and oxides and sulfides of metals. Again, I'll talk about this a bit more later in the presentation. So how does this organic matter change in between different size fraction? So this is a very, very simple, it's actually very complicated, but here is actually a very simple representation of what's going on in the ocean. So in a truly soluble phase, we have just very simple organic matter, such as amino acid, and they can complex with metal. So metal ions are basically very small, so they don't change the size of organic matter. But this organic matter can aggregate into bigger ones, especially if if you have aluminum or manganese, something like that, they will tend to aggregate and become bigger. Then they become colloidal. And then as they become bigger, they will go into particulate. And another way this organic matter can become bigger is through phytoplankton uptake. So when phytoplankton take up any organic matter, such as nutrients, they become they go into the cell. And now that because they're inside the cell, now they're considered particulate. And this is important in the field of marine chemistry, which I will again explain a bit later. Now, if I make it a little bit more complicated, like in almost real reality in the ocean, then you have this a bit complicated form kind of organic matter cycling in the ocean. So then between the river and the ocean, there is this almost invisible boundary because of the salt concentration difference. So because of this salt difference, if you learn more about physics, you will know that most of the organic matter will aggregate. So they will become bigger and bigger between the river and ocean. And because of that, most of them will precipitate, meaning they will become sediment and they will not be transported into the ocean. And therefore, only colloidal or like very little soluble organic matter will be transported into the ocean. And therefore, in the ocean, you generally have very, very low organic matter concentration compared to the one in the river. Now, in the ocean, like I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of processes going on, mainly phytoplankton uptake and aeration, which all makes the organic matter bigger. And the bigger organic matter will sink to deep water because they are not considered soluble, as I mentioned earlier. So whatever is not soluble will not stay within the water, it will start to sink. Now as it sink into the deep water, we call it the marine snow, because if you go into deep water and then you take a photo with flash, you will see this kind of white dot. It looks like snow, so we call it marine snow. But this is actually particulate, and which are mainly composed of dead phytoplankton. And there's one thing very important about this sinking of organic matter, is that when organic matter sink to very deep ocean, they cannot or they will not come back up to the surface ocean for a long time, because there is basically no mixing. As I mentioned earlier, there's no mixing between the deep water and surface water. So this has a very important implication, such that when phytoplankton die, they will sink to the deep water and they will stay there for a very, very long time. But keep in note that when phytoplankton grow, they will take up carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which means that all the carbon dioxide, the carbon that they take up from the atmosphere, will stay with them all the time, even until they sink into the deep ocean. So this means that through this kind of size differences, how they change between one size fraction to the other size fraction, the carbon dioxide can be converted into carbon in deep water just through phytoplankton uptake and things like that. So this process, we call it the ocean biological pump. So nowadays, there's a lot of talk about global warming and how we have to cut CO2 emission. So this is actually a very important topic of research nowadays in the field of marine chemistry. So here, I want to just add a bit about how we can take and analyze the organic matter samples. For those of you not interested in observation, you can just ignore it, but it's just side information. So as I mentioned earlier, in our field, organic matter is very important via their size. The size is very important. So we have to differentiate the sample into different size fraction, and we do that using filters. So if we filter them through this filter paper, whatever is left on the filter is particulate, and whatever goes through the filter is dissolved. And if you want to find the colloidal, as I mentioned earlier, which is considered dissolved but not really dissolved, then we can do ultrafiltration, which is very, very fine, very, very small filter. And whatever passed through that filter is considered truly soluble. So this is many ways we can use to differentiate between the size of the organic matter in the sample. Another more recent way, easier but more expensive way to do that is we can use in situ sampler. So this is basically how you can just lower this machine into the water, where they will pump all the water through the machine, and and all the water will pass through a filtered paper, which can then be collected afterwards. But it's more of a specific, more of a technical thing that we are talking about here. And again, like I mentioned earlier, because organic matter is so important in understanding the ocean biological pump, as in how much carbon is being trapped in the ocean, we have to evaluate that. We need to know how much carbon or how much particle is sinking from the surface water to the deep water. And to do this, one of the ways is by using sediment trap. So unlike the previous slide, which I introduced about water sampling, which you take a sample and then you filter and that's it. This one is you have to leave a sediment trap in the ocean for a long time. Basically, for that time period, it will continue to collect all the particle that is coming from the surface to the deep water. And by doing that, we can estimate the amount of carbon that is being trapped by this ocean biological pump from the surface to deep water. And then this is a bit more technical as well, which I won't talk too much, but we can estimate the scavenging rate from the sampling that I mentioned earlier. Basically, it's important to know how organic matter aggregate, because as they aggregate, they'll become bigger and they will sink. And it's important to know that because carbon is sink via that way. So we can estimate using a radioisotope of uranium and radon, which is a bit more technical here. But again, this is how we can, because as they decay into thorium is insoluble, it will absorb in the particle. So the less thorium you have relative to the soluble parent, then you can suggest that there will be higher scavenging and higher organic matter concentration. Again, this is just some side note. And this is the equation that we use. If you're interested, you can take a photo. But this is actually a very well-known equation. It has been used for many years. Then, time is okay, I think. So here, I'll talk about some other important factor about organic matter in marine chemistry. So this is more of my own personal field of study, and the control of metal biogeochemistry via organic matter. So here it was similar to what I've mentioned just now, but here, in terms of the control of metal biogeochemistry, the important part is this one. So in deep water, not deep, here I would say more like subsurface, the particulate organic matter will degrade into truly soluble organic matter via bacteria or something. Why is important is because unlike in coastal water or in rivers where you have a constant supply of nutrient, in the open ocean, when the nutrient such as phosphate, silicate, nitrate, and iron is gone, it's gone because there is no supply in the open ocean. It's so far away from all the sources. The only major supply of this kind of nutrient is from deep water. So this truly soluble one is regenerated from particulate. It will cycle back up to the surface water via physical processes. So this process is actually very important in understanding metal biogeochemistry. So for example, this is one of my main one of the project that I'm involved in. It's called GeoTraces, and the main aim is to identify, process, and quantify the fluxes that control distribution of key trace elements as stored in the ocean. So this is one of the major findings is that if you talk about nutrient as in what phytoplankton need to grow, here we have nitrate, phosphate, and silicate. It generally have this kind of vertical profile where in the surface water, this is the depth against concentration. And in the surface water, you get very low concentration because of phytoplankton uptake. Now, if you look at this, in the subsurface water, there is a huge increase in the nutrient concentration. And this is because once phytoplankton take up this nutrient and they die and they sink, in the subsurface water, they are being regenerated back into the dissolved or truly soluble form. Now, the same can also be said for cadmium and zinc, which is two major trace elements in the ocean. Again, we have very low concentration in the surface water, which then increase as you go to the subsurface. This is how the change in different types of size fraction actually is involved in the biogeochemistry of trace metal. This is just some of the the process going on. And another thing is about aggregation. So as I mentioned earlier, organic matter tends to aggregate in seawater. Aggregate meaning it becomes bigger. So the aggregation is actually triggered or is made faster in the presence of some metals such as aluminum or manganese or maybe iron. So for metals such as manganese, it tends to display this kind of vertical profile where in the surface water is quite high. But as you go to the deep water, as it combines with more and more organic matter, it becomes heavier and heavier and heavier, and it sinks. But this heavier organic matter is not dissolved. They are just particulate. So here I've mentioned that it is dissolved manganese. So the dissolved manganese will become less and less because more and more dissolved manganese will transform into particulate manganese as they are combined with organic matter. So it's another different way how organic matter can affect the behavior of trace metal in the ocean. So this is just the behavior. This is just the sum of the process that's going on for manganese. The time is okay, I think, so I'll just continue. Is it okay, the time?
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, so another way what organic matter can do to metal is that organic matter controls metal bioavailability. So one of the important case study is iron. Now, for example, as I mentioned earlier, phytoplankton is very important for absorbing carbon from the air and then capture them in deep water. Especially for diatom, they account for 20% of the total global capture of carbon. So it's a very important phytoplankton species. But however, diatom is limited. The growth of diatom is not very good. It's limited at about 30% of the ocean by iron. So there is just not enough iron to support the growth of diatom in a lot of the different parts of the ocean. The reason is that for iron, it just doesn't stay in the waters very good. It's just basically insoluble because when iron comes into contact with oxygen, it just turns into oxide or hydroxide, which is basically particulate or insoluble. Now, what happens here is that when you have a lot of organic matter, this organic matter can bind to iron and therefore prevent or slow down the oxidation process. And therefore, more and more iron can remain dissolved. Now, this is just a recent study in Nature Communication saying that this is the concentration of dissolved iron versus the concentration of organic matter. In this case, it's humic substances, which looks something like this. And the more organic matter you have in the water, the more iron there is. So the more organic matter there is, it's easier to support the growth of phytoplankton such as diatom through the bioavailability of iron. Again, there are other ligands such as siderophore, polysaccharide, and heme. And I think I should almost try to stop. But then this another importance of organic matter is that it controls metal toxicity. So in my case, one of the major metal that I study is copper. So copper is toxic at high concentration to all different types of phytoplankton such as diatom, colitophore, and cyanobacteria. And therefore, by having this production of organic matter such as ligand, this is we don't know what kind of ligand they produce, but we suspect something like this or TOs, something like this, that this kind of organic matter, when they bind to copper, makes it bigger. As I mentioned earlier, bigger matter doesn't get uptake by phytoplankton. So this is how, just by changing the size of the metal in the ocean, they prevent the metal from being taken up by the phytoplankton. So it's another important. So in summary, dissolved organic matter is important in marine chemistry due to the following factors. First of all, it's because of carbon sequestration. You take carbon from the air and you store it in deep water. And second, it actually governs the trace metal biological cycling, as I mentioned earlier, about the scavenge type and nutrient type profile of the trace metal. And third of all, it determines the metal bioavailability, such as those of iron. And fourth, it controls the metal toxicity. So something like copper. And that's it. Thank you very much. So before I end my presentation, I want to share a few supplementary information. So this is our jaw tracers study, which I'm involved in. and we have a lot of expedition here. And this year we are going to the Bering Sea. And this is some of the photo that we have regarding the GeoTracers cruise. And this is the CTD sampling we do. And this is some of the photos that we do during the cruise, which is we sample some sea ice, and you can see some nice picture here. And so if you're interested in studying or exchange programs, it's just a bit of PR here. Program. So Kanazawa University has MOU for exchange program with the following institution. So it's here. You can take a photo if you want. If you're interested, please, you can ask your university to see if they do any kind of exchange program with Kanazawa University. We have received a lot of Indonesian students every year. So I think a lot of different universities sending students over to Kanazawa University. And if you're interested to study for PhD or Masters, we have this course, ethic course. We call it Environmental and Energy Technology International course. So all the curriculum is in English, and we also have a scholarship available for Masters and PhD students. So if you're interested, please, you can contact me, or just contact me about anything if you're interested to study or do an exchange program in Japan. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wong. Okay, now is a Q&A time. If you have a question, please let us know.
I will stop sharing, yeah.
Hi. Okay, anyone? Okay, we have a question from Cecilia. Cecilia, yeah. Okay, Cecilia, please tell us your question.
Okay. I want question to Dr. Liz and to Dr. Ong. And then first to Dr. Liz. Is it possible that thermohaline circulation or Great Ocean Conveyor Belt can change in pattern on rate? And the second to Dr. Ong, the concentration of organic matter is it low? How the organic matter can be sink enough?
Okay. Enough. Okay. There are two questions, yeah, for Dr. Wong and Dr. Iis. Okay, you can answer directly now. Can you get the question, Dr. Iis?
Okay, thank you, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bapak Adi. Cecilia asked me about, is it thermal things? That's the question, Cecilia. Is it
Is it possible? Is it possible the pattern or the rate of the Great Ocean Conveyor Belt change maybe in the future due to climate change or something?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's interesting. That's nice question. Thank you, Cecilia. The conveyor belt or thermohaline circulation, as we know, deep water masses. These water masses impact in the global water cycle on the temperature and the current due to the changes of the many factor or parameter, physical parameter ultimately. So in the future, we can say, or not in the future, now we can talk about, or I can show you about the events of ENSO, La Nina and El Nino. That's the impact of the changes of the circulation water machines, like the thermohaline circulation, due to the changes of the temperature, water temperature. So in the regional, that could be impact to our climate. So is it possible? The possibility of the changes is about the temperature and the density. So the move of the circulation, the direct or the direction also from the Pacific to the, as I said before in the slide, maybe okay. For the direction, it could not be changed, but the changes can be could be find in on the temperature, or it could impact to the temperature and salinity. So the change or the anomaly, not for the all the world or the water masses, just for the regional impacts. So maybe that's because this circulation driven by the global density. So if the density, temperature, and surface heat changes, so it could change the 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 uh, the thermohaline circulation. I think I give this answer just like that, Bapak Adi.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So the answer is possible, because maybe in the future the temperature or density will be changed due to the climate change. Okay.
The change on the temperature.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for the answer. And then the next question is about organic matter. So it means to Dr. Wong.
Yes, yes. So basically in the ocean, the concentration of organic matter is very low. You're correct. But the thing is huge. The ocean is huge. So if you have a low concentration and but it's huge. So if you consider that, it's still a lot of carbon that is being sink into the deep ocean. The interesting thing is, even though the open ocean is so huge, the concentration of organic matter is very low. So if you add up all the organic matter in the open ocean, it's actually equal to the amount of organic matter you can find in coastal water. So even though coastal water is a very small area, but the amount of organic matter you find in coastal water is actually equal to the total amount you find in the open ocean. So you think about the size of the open ocean. So that's why even though it's very low concentration, but if you multiply by the size, it's still a lot of carbon being captured. Yeah. That's it. Is it okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay. How about Diesel?
Okay, very answer. Thank you for Dr. Wong and Dr. Lewis.
Okay, thank you for the question. Also, there is a question in the chat room. I would like to read it. There's a question for Dr. Wong from Dominic, Mr. Dominic. I would like
Yes.
to ask about the balance of the organic matter in the ocean. Is there such balance, and what is the most critical element influence? And would the climate change tip the balance?
It's very difficult to answer this question because first of all, we don't know what kind of organic matter they are in the ocean. So as you know, there's so many different types of organic matter. So how are we going to know what kind of organic matter? So if we don't know what kind of organic matter, it's difficult to predict how it will behave, especially in the context of climate change. So what people are doing nowadays is they are trying to use very high-tech technology to find out what kind of organic matter, at least know what kind of functional group they have. For example, if it's a amino acid, if it's a humic substances, if it's a metal protein. So we don't know, so it's difficult to answer this question. But it's a good question. People are trying to model, to understand, to predict how they would change, but at the moment it's just so difficult.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Oh, there are a lot of questions in the chat box. Okay, the next question is from Dr. Ida to Dr. Iis and Dr. Wong. The first question is regarding the organic matter and carbon sequester. Where is carbon sequestration most effective, in coastal region or in the open ocean? And then
This is
okay.
okay. Yes.
Hmm.
So I'll answer the first question first. So
Yeah, you
it's
can.
it's actually, this is a bit interesting because coastal water has higher organic matter concentration. So, but on the other hand, carbon sequestration is better in deep ocean, in open ocean, because you have to sink to the deep water. So in coastal water, it's not deep enough. So it will sink to the seabed, and at some point it will become regenerated back into the surface water. So it's a cycle within the coastal water, even though there's a high organic matter concentration. But for the carbon to be captured, you need to go to deep water. That's why you need to be in the open ocean. So to answer your question, it's most effective in the open ocean, not because of the concentration of organic matter, it's because of the deep water. It's found in open ocean. Yeah. And the second question is organic matter binds with ligand of matter.
Yes.
Yeah, they can stand alone. Yes. But depends. Some metal requires, for example, like I mentioned earlier, iron. Iron has to complex with organic matter. Otherwise, it will just precipitate into iron oxide. So it depends on the kind of metal. But generally, yes.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And then I would like to please Dr. Iis to answer the question because the question is for two speakers.
Okay, thank you, Pak Adi. I will answer the question from Bapak Edward Taufikur.
Oh, so sorry. The first one is from Dr. Ida.
Sorry, Dr. Ida. From Dr. Ida, which one?
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, Dr. Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, from Bapak Edward. The question from Bapak Edward, can we levels the importance of the ocean based on latitudinal position, tropical ocean, northern, southern, which one have bigger role? Or what is the extent of each ocean importance? In my opinion, from the literature or from the publication, the researcher that interest with the to study about the ocean role in the global water cycle, I can assume or I can summarize that all part of the ocean have a part or have a significant role. All of part, its latitude position in the north, in the south, or we can say in the tropical ocean, northern and southern, each part have a solely role or solely function in the global water cycle with their characteristic, their own characteristic. They support, they work together because in the global water cycle, every part or every subsystem, also every part of the ocean acts as with the own characteristic. Like in the tropical, with like Indonesia, we have the sunlight every day. So our ocean acts at the absorb of the sunlight more higher than the other part, in the north or in the pole north and pole southward. So we can I think, or in my opinion, we cannot make a level this part or tropical more important than the other. In my opinion, every part of the ocean, from the north to the south, has a significant role, the same position, with their own characteristic. Okay, and the second, maybe for Mr. Wong, like the tropical area is higher in temperature and rich on organic matter, does it make the tropical ocean more important? Maybe Mr. Wong, you can me to
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
I agree with Dr. Is. Every part of the ocean is important. They have their own role. But in terms of organic matter, I think if you talk about open ocean, just open ocean, actually tropical area doesn't have a lot of organic matter. So most of the organic matter happens in the subarctic and subarctic region, because most of the nutrients are actually concentrated in the subarctic region. Whereas if you talk about tropical and subtropical region, they are actually quite low in organic matter. So it's maybe contrary to what you probably think. So, but they are all important. They are all important in carbon sequestration, because they all have phytoplankton and they're all very deep. So in some point, the carbon from the atmosphere will reach deep water. But it doesn't mean that higher organic matter means high is more important. I think it's different. So you have each ocean have their own role, especially in terms of the ocean circulation. Every ocean is linked together. So if you think about that way, it's very difficult to judge which ocean is more important than the other ocean. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the response. Very interesting discussion. Yeah, but unfortunately, the time is almost up. So now we are in the end of this section. So we would like to say thanks to Dr. Ida for giving the opportunity, and then also for Dr. Wong and Dr. Iis. Thank you for the knowledge. Actually, before I didn't expect that the speaker is Dr. Wong, so now I'm really nervous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our session for today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thanks to our distinguished speakers and all of you for your active participation. We hope you found the discussion insightful and valuable. Stay safe and see you at our next event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
very
Wong.
much. Thank you
So,
very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
So, Adi-san, you're doing your visa now, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you need anything, just let me know.
Oh. So he got the scholarship?
Yeah, he got the scholarship.
Ah, congratulations! So
Thank you for the information.
because yesterday he told me he didn't know yet, so kind of this is a very big
Is it?
information
Oh,
oh,
the
it's
the
not
uni
announced yet.
the uni hasn't announced yet. Oh, okay. But you got it. It's okay. Yeah, just saying. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, good. If you have anything, just let me know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep. Thank
All
you
right.
very much, Mong Sang. See you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, when will you go to the geotraces cruise? The summer?
I'm going. No, my students are going in June, but I will join in September. I will go to IMBF cruise. the Augustine says IMBF cruise.
Oh,
He
is
has the
it?
IMBF cruise in September around Hawaii. So I will join the IMBF cruise, but my student will join the Joe Tracers cruise.
So which cruise Obata Sensei will join?
He will join both.
So
you know him, you know him, he will join both.
I mean, when he will be in Tokyo?
He will be in Tokyo in August and also after October.
Okay, I see. After
If you want to
October.
find, because the Joe Tracers cruise is from June and July, and then the IMBF cruise is September. So
Okay.
June, July, and September he will probably be away most of the time. But August and October and after he should be okay. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a new manpower. I did.
Yeah, I have new manpower. Yes. So if I have more manpower, I don't have to go to cruise anymore. Just
Yeah.
you guys go.
Thank you very much, Wang Sang and Pui
No
is.
problem. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, see you. I hope I can see you again.
All right, see you.
See you. Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Boleh ditutup, Mas, nggak apa-apa.
Okay, for the host.
Ya. Thank you very much. Selamat. Izin live ya. Terima kasih.